A giant appeared in front of its companions, and with a terrifying sound, a giant tree was ripped from the ground. Two massive legs came into view, along with cold, soulless eyes, a nose covered with thick black hairs, and a mouth full of white teeth. All of these things clearly proved one thing: he might be a man-eater. Poor companions quickly tried to escape, but the giant took just 2 steps forward and slapped one of them to the ground. The giant then grabbed him in his hand. At that moment, the general, hiding in the shadows, rushed forward to save his soldier. He bravely stabbed the giant, but it was like trying to scratch the giant's skin. The sword was no more effective than a toothpick. The giant casually pulled out the sword, lifted the general by his legs, one in each hand, and hummed a tune as he walked deeper into the forest. The man, fearing detection, had no choice but to hide in the water again. Luckily, the giant didn't notice him, strutting toward the cave with no care. Seeing this, the man quickly stood up and began to follow the giant from a distance, waiting for an opportunity to rescue his comrades. After 3 days and nights of difficult tracking, he finally reached the giant's lair. But when he finally reached the entrance of the cave, he was shocked to discover that there wasn't just one giant. There was a whole group. Desperate to save his companion, the man didn't hesitate. He steeled himself and snuck inside the cave. But with giants everywhere, he had to stay on high alert. As the giants grew closer, the man scrambled under a giant wooden door to escape, narrowly avoiding capture. At that moment, a cry for help echoed through the cave. The man immediately followed the sound. He unexpectedly found his girlfriend locked in an iron cage. However, the cage was incredibly sturdy. To make matters worse, not far away, another giant seemed to be in the kitchen preparing a meal. The giant wrapped a companion's bones in dough, rolled them up, and placed them beside 2 pigs. Then the giant picked up a metal skewer and pierced the food before lifting the plate and sending it into the oven. With his companion in grave danger, the man couldn't afford to hesitate. He immediately climbed up the rope, planning to rescue her. But just as he reached the rafters, the giant pulled out a small knife and extended his hand toward the girlfriend, preparing to disembowel her on the spot. In a moment of desperation, the man drew a dagger from his sheath and leaped down, stabbing the giant in the back. In pain, the giant struggled, trying to throw the man off, but instead, he crashed into the wall and fell to the ground with a loud thud. This allowed the man to save a few people. Realizing they couldn't stay here for long, they didn't waste any time and headed toward the exit. However, they were caught off guard when they found the place already guarded by an armored giant. Faced with the giant, who was snoring loudly in its sleep, the man suddenly had an idea. He grabbed a huge beehive from a distance, and with the help of his companions, removed the giant's helmet and tossed the beehive inside. They quickly put the helmet back on.